Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today. We're talking jobs.
A lot.
Yeah, jobs. Specifically, the struggle to create enough jobs. In India, we've got some interesting sources here that paint a pretty stark picture of the situation.
Oh, that's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So let's get right into it. One source actually says creating enough jobs is like one of the biggest hurdles India faces right now. What's your take on that? I mean, when we talk about finding sufficient employment opportunities, what exactly are we talking about here?
Well, you've got to think about the sheer size of India's population, right? It's huge and it's young.
Yeah.
Millions of people enter the workforce every year. That's like...
A whole new city. Every single year. It's kind of mind-blowing when you put it like that.
Exactly. So you can imagine the pressure that puts on the economy. And it's not just about the numbers either. It affects everything: economic growth, social stability, people's hopes and dreams.
It's about livelihoods.
Yeah.
Futures. Families.
Right. So when we talk about finding sufficient employment opportunities, we're really talking about ensuring that all these people have a chance to build a decent life for themselves.
So what's making this so difficult? Why is it such a hurdle?
Well, there's no single answer, right? It's a complex mix of factors. But some of the big ones are, well, one that stands out is this: education. There's a disconnect between what people are learning in school and what employers actually need.
You mean like a skills gap?
Exactly. Like, you might have tons of people graduating with degrees in, say, history or literature, but not enough with the technical skills that are in high demand, like software development or data analysis.
Right. It's almost like, imagine you have a whole toolbox full of hammers, but what you really need is a screwdriver.
That's a great analogy. And that's not even touching on things like globalization and automation.
Oh, yeah. Those are game changers everywhere, but especially in developing economies. Tell me more about that.
Well, think about it. Automation is replacing certain types of jobs, while globalization means companies can hire from anywhere in the world. That creates a whole lot of competition for Indian workers.
Especially in areas like manufacturing, right? Where labor costs are a big factor. I was reading about this textile factory in Gujarat that had to shut down because it just couldn't compete with cheaper imports from, like, Bangladesh. It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely. And then you have another issue, which is investment, or rather, the lack of it.
Go on. Tell me more about that.
Well, to create more jobs, India needs investments in a variety of sectors, not just the big ones like tech or finance. If the focus is too narrow, the job market becomes limited.
Right, so it's like putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
You need a diverse mix of industries to have a strong economy.
You got it.
Okay, so we've got the skills gap, globalization, automation, and the need for diverse investments. What else? Oh, you also mentioned regional disparities earlier. What's that all about?
Yeah. So development in India isn't uniform. Some areas, like Bangalore or Mumbai, are booming, while others lag behind. That means opportunities aren't equal across the country.
So it's almost like having multiple job creation challenges within one country, right?
It is. It adds another layer of complexity to the issue, makes it even more difficult to address.
Wow. So listeners, we've covered a lot here. We talked about the skills gap. We talked about globalization and automation. We talked about the need for investments across different sectors. And we even touched on the regional variations.
And remember, behind all these factors, we're talking about real people, millions of them, looking for a way to support themselves and their families, looking for a future.
It's a powerful reminder that this isn't just an economic issue. It's a human one. So what are some ways to tackle this huge, complex challenge? Any ideas?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? But it's something we all need to be thinking about. India has this incredible young workforce, and if they can harness that potential, it could be a real game changer. It could be a global powerhouse. But the path forward is going to require some serious innovation and some tough choices.
That's for sure. So listeners, as you go about your day today, think about what we discussed. Think about the challenges India faces, and think about what you might do, even in a small way, to help create a more equitable and prosperous future for everyone.
It's a conversation worth having.
Absolutely. And thank you all so much for joining us on this deep dive into India's job market. It's a complex issue, but it's one that deserves our attention.
Keep learning, keep exploring, and keep asking those tough questions.
We'll see you next time. All right, so let's dive into this.
Yeah.
You know, we talked a lot about the global economy and everything,
Right.
but this is one that I've been wanting to kind of get into more specifically.
Okay.
And that's the whole situation with jobs in India.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's a big country. It's a growing country.
Oh, it
And
is.
it's one of those things that's always,
A hot topic, right?
yeah,
Definitely.
it's in the news all the time.
Yeah.
But we're going to go a little deeper than that.
Okay.
You know, I've been looking at all this stuff you sent me, and
Right.
it seems like,
Well, you picked a good one because
yeah.
India's got this thing going on right now
Yep.
called the demographic dividend.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah? Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what that means.
Well, I mean, I know it has to do with population,
You're right,
right?
right.
They have a lot of young people.
Huge, huge population, and it's young,
Yeah.
so that means,
That's good, right?
I mean,
For the economy.
yeah, it should be great if you've got all these young people coming up,
Mm-hmm.
ready to work.
And contribute.
Yeah.
And be productive.
And be productive, but there's a big but.
There's always a but.
Yeah, the but is jobs.
Yeah.
You gotta have jobs for all these people.
That's what I was seeing in a lot of this research.
Oh, yeah, you sent me some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really the
The big hurdle.
big challenge.
Yeah.
And it's not just like, oh, find them any old job.
Right.
It's gotta be,
The right jobs.
yeah, good jobs that'll last.
Sustainable. Something that actually,
That help build the economy, too.
right, not just like, we're going to dig a hole and fill it back in.
Right, exactly.
Busy work.
Exactly, gotta be meaningful.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of pressure.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at,
What'd you see?
there was this one article in the Economic Times.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
They were talking about
What were they saying?
skills. Like there's,
The skills gap.
yeah, the skills gap.
Yeah, that's huge.
So like people are learning stuff, but
But it's not the right stuff.
it's not the stuff that employers are looking for.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like they're training for jobs that don't even exist anymore.
Right. And it's not just like,
Practical.
technical skill.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's like
Soft skills, right?
communication, teamwork.
Teamwork,
Yeah. Problem solved.
digital literacy.
Oh, absolutely. That's a big one these days.
Yeah, especially
Especially with how fast everything's changing.
Yeah.
Like you almost have to be able to learn new skills constantly.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Keep up, right?
Yeah.
And that's hard.
Well, and that Economic Times article, I mean,
Yeah.
they had this one story that was just like
What was it?
really hit home.
Yeah.
This young woman who had trained
Mm.
to be a textile worker,
Okay.
and she couldn't find a job.
The factories are all automated now.
Oh, wow, that's tough.
It's like she prepared for this one thing
And then it's gone.
and it's just gone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one person.
Right.
But that's happening
To a lot of people.
all over.
Yeah, it's like a human face on this whole big
Yeah.
economic thing.
Yeah.
And it's not just about like finding a job. It's about,
People's lives.
yeah, livelihoods, futures, families.
It's about the future of the country.
Exactly.
So what can they do? What can India do?
Well, that's the million-dollar question.
Right.
But some of the stuff you sent me, there were some good ideas.
Like what?
Well, there was this one
Yeah.
policy paper. They were talking about vocational training,
Oh.
like
Yeah.
really investing in it.
Yep.
But not just any old vocational training
Right.
tailored to what industries actually need.
Like those emerging industries.
Exactly, the jobs of the future.
Yeah, yeah, like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But then there was that other,
What was that?
that report, that think tank report.
Oh, yeah, I remember that one.
They were saying it's not just about the skills.
Oh, wow.
They're saying it's about
Yeah.
the types of industries.
Oh, right.
Like invest in stuff that actually needs people.
Right, yeah, like
We're-
infrastructure,
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
building roads and bridges.
Yeah, that takes a lot of workers.
Or renewable energy.
Ah, that's a good one. That's growing.
Yeah, that's only going to grow.
And it's good for the environment, too.
Yeah, so there's like a
I mean,
lot of,
buy angles to this.
yeah, it's not a simple solution.
No, definitely not one size fits all.
You need,
It's going to take a lot of different things working together.
yeah.
Investment, skills development, good policies,
Right, you got to understand the whole,
the whole picture.
yeah, like how all these things,
Connect.
yeah,
It's complex.
it's a puzzle.
It is. It really is.
So for someone who's listening to this and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, so India has got a job situation. Right.
What's the takeaway here?
Well, I think the big takeaway is
Yeah.
it's not just about numbers.
Right.
It's about people.
People's lives.
Yeah, it's about social stuff, education, the economy, all of it.
It's like the whole fabric
Of the country.
of the country.
Yeah, and it's about hope, too.
Hope.
Yeah, people wanting a better future.
Oh, that's good. How
Right.
do we get them there?
Exactly, and can the government help, or are they
Are
gonna...
they going to get in the way?
Yeah, it's like all those aspirations wrapped up in this one big challenge.
Yeah. So really what you're interested in is
Yeah.
how they're going to address these challenges.
Yeah, and what role, technology.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because
They're
India,
like a tech powerhouse now.
yeah, they've really come up in the tech world.
So can they use that to create good jobs?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right, not just jobs, but like good jobs.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jobs that mean something.
That's the thing to think about.
Yeah, what could India do with all that tech talent?
Yeah, what could they do?
It's an exciting time.
It is.
Lots of potential.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we took the time to dive into this.
Me too. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really helps you understand, like,
The bigger picture.
yeah, like the world
Yeah.
and how everything's connected.
Exactly. It's all connected.
Well, thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll have to do it again soon.
Definitely.
All right. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.